And just right here, as you can see, it's marked just with grave.
I know you gonna dig this.
Get funky with me.
What's going on, everybody? How you doing today? Welcome to Joplin, Missouri. Joplin, Missouri, Peace Church Cemetery. Tiny little cemetery, and I've been here before. I was here September 2022, I believe it was. I don't like that shadow. September 2022, at this exact cemetery at midnight. Now, I was with my friend Aaron. He was a viewer of my channel, him and his wife. We went out for a night drive after dinner. He wanted to show me something cool, something interesting, which was this cemetery. We filmed a whole video here, except it was so dark, I never put it up. It was really dark, even with all the lights that we had extra light, I believe. I'm gonna insert some of that footage into this. Aaron, I tried to find you, man. We couldn't get in touch. I wanted to bring you back. I wanted to come back with you. I've got somebody else here with me though, but Aaron, thinking of you. He's got channels called Married to Michael Myers, funny stuff. We're here, we're visiting the grave, the unmarked grave, I believe. I don't even remember where it is in this cemetery. I have no clue, but luckily I have an expert with me, like an expert on Billy Cook, spree killer, serial killer. Billy Cook. You may not have ever heard of this guy. He was a bad dude. And he's buried here in this cemetery. Let's find him. All right. This is the man that helped set this up. Joe from Missouri.
Joe from Mo. That's right. Mo Joe.
Viewer of my
from
channel,
Joplin,
now
Mo.
a friend with a great shirt on. Show that shirt.
Warhol.
There's my boy. Love Andy Warhol. And we've got not just a town historian, but you're actually an expert on Billy Cook. You wrote a book about him.
I did.
It's an ebook, right?
It is.
Available still online?
It is.
I will put a link below in the description.
Thank you.
Give me a little something. Who is Billy? Pretend I don't know who Billy Cook is, because I've read the story.
All right. So to understand Billy, you got to look at his early life. So Billy comes from a family with brothers and sisters. His mom died when he was very young, and his dad, who was known at the time to kind of be the town drunk, was left to fend for all the kids.
What year are we looking at here?
So this is in the 30s. This
Okay.
is, early Joplin. So when Billy is 3 years old, social services found all of the kids living in a cave, and they took them to children's home, which was basically 6 nuns and 50 kids. So there wasn't a lot of supervision. There wasn't a lot of support. It was pretty much a minimum place to exist. And he had a deformity over his eye that kept his eye from fully closing at any time. And so people just kind of felt creeped out by his eye. They often made fun of him for it, and it was a tough childhood. So eventually, as he turns into a teenager, he robs a taxi for a few dollars, and it gets him sent to the boys' home, which graduates to the Missouri State Penitentiary. But he finally gets out, and he comes back to Joplin. He's got the words "hard luck" tattooed across his knuckles, and he shows up here in Joplin. He stays here for a little while until his aunt, who lived on Perkins Street here in town, took him to Route 66, gave him $20, and said, "You don't fit here.
Really?
Get lost. Don't come back." And he hitchhiked from here to California, where he got his only real job in his entire life. He worked as a busboy in a restaurant. He made friends for the first time ever with the waitresses that were there. But on New Year's Eve, something snapped, and he just left that little new life behind.
What year is this now?
This is 1950 going into 1951.
Okay.
So he stops in Albuquerque, where he buys his first weapon. It's a gun that's registered in his name. And from there, he continues hitchhiking. So he gets his first hitchhiker, or he is the hitchhiker to his first victim. He gets in the back seat of the car, and he says to the gentleman, "You're going to drive and you're going to go where I go." And the guy turned really hard and just jumped out the vehicle and was able to get away. So Billy took the driver's spot, and that car held up for a little while, but eventually had motor problems and was stopped on the side of the road. So a nice family, the Mosier family, stopped to see if they could help. Offered him a ride to a nearby store. He hopped in the back seat. You have family of 5 and the dog.
Right.
So 3 kids. So
Oh my goodness.
packed car.
Right.
Immediately, Billy pulls out his weapon and says, "You're going to drive where I want to go," and has this family driving all across the middle of the country, trying to figure out what he's going to do. And he eventually ends up in Oklahoma, where he sees a police officer, which spooks him, and he unloads his weapon into the car.
Now, sorry to interrupt, but did I read that he made the father drive around for 72 hours?
72 hours.
Like, that is unbelievable.
Especially during that time. Absolutely.
Right? 72 hours straight. So he murders the entire family.
So he murders the entire family there in the car, and then in a panic drives the car with the bodies and the blood from Oklahoma here to Joplin, Missouri.
Oh my God.
When he's here, he puts them into a mine shaft that was just a few blocks from his childhood home. It was one that he was very familiar with, and then took off. So he leaves Joplin going back towards Tulsa and wrecks the car. He can't do anything to salvage the car, so he takes off on foot. A few hours later, the Oklahoma Highway Patrol finds the vehicle covered in blood and finds the weapon registered to Billy Cook. So he's instantly, the entire country is looking for
Why did he leave the weapon behind? It's just... we don't know why.
We don't know. We don't know.
What a strange thing.
The bodies are discovered here in Joplin, and it's quite a spectacle. The entire town pretty much gathered. Time magazine started covering the story, and so there were regular updates from Time magazine about the hunt for Billy Cook. So, this case changed America, because up until that time, everybody felt like it was okay to hitchhike. And this was the incident that ended that notion. So, Billy ends up back in California again, where he's staying with the person that he had met when he was there before. And a local California police officer, seeing the media coverage, decides, hey, I'm going to check that house, see if maybe they've seen him, find out what's up. So the police officer comes up, knocks on the door, and Billy opens the door with a gun and says, "Let's get in your car." So he gets into the police car. They drive around for quite a while, and he finally forces the police officer out of the car. So he drives in the police car, but knows that's a bad idea.
Okay,
So-
good. At least
so
he knows that.
He pulls over, and a businessman from Seattle stops to pick him up.
Aye.
So they drive almost to the border of Mexico, where Billy kills this man, Robert Dewey, and then heads off into Mexico. So it's gained a lot of attention by this point. People over the United States are looking for him. They're getting reports all across the country. And of course in Mexico, Mexico identified a lead and decided to come in on him, and they were able to capture him alive. So they brought him back to Oklahoma, where he was tried for the family that was killed. He received 5 consecutive 60-year sentences, so 300 years. But 300 years was not enough.
Right.
California decided to pull him for the murder that happened in California.
Right.
And California has the death penalty. So they ultimately decided to execute him in San Quentin in the gas chamber. And afterwards, his family here wasn't very well off. And a man from Oklahoma approached and said, "Hey, I'll take care of his funeral. You know, it'll all be at my expense." So they brought him to Oklahoma, where he had kind of a gangster funeral. They charged $1 a piece for people to come in and
Really?
see the body of cockeyed killer Billy Cook.
And it's buried right over here.
He's buried right over here.
Now, I read that this is part of the inspiration for the movie The Hitcher?
Yeah, the Hitchhiker.
The Hitchhiker.
Oh, The Hitchhiker.
Which
Well,
came out before The Hitcher.
because in The Hitcher, he does get in the car with a family.
Yeah, The Hitcher's pretty close. The Hitchhiker was the original movie that was based on it.
Okay.
And then the second line in Riders on the Storm,
Right by the doors,
by
right?
the Doors. And then,
What is that line?
if you give this man a ride, sweet family will die, killer on the roam. I would sing it, but I don't want YouTube to take your video down because I sound so much like Jim.
You do. And you
I
look
am
like
the
him,
Lizard
too.
King. I look like him in the aged progression video photos. I look just like him if you've ever seen those.
And the graves
Sad
were right
video.
over here. That's crazy. So I read also that the first judge for the family murders, he was sympathetic somewhat to Billy because of his upbringing.
Sure. So, I mean, he lived a very tough life. He had physical deformities. People his entire life had been mean to him. And the judge felt sorry for him. He still gave him 300 years.
Right,
though.
right.
The maximum possible penalty under the law in Oklahoma at that time.
So let's go take a look.
So they ultimately decided to bring his body back to Joplin. It came into Joplin by train at the Union Depot, and then they brought his body here to Peace Church Cemetery at midnight. Reverend Dow Bowe from Galena came to oversee the funeral, and a reporter from the Globe came and recorded the audio just to prove that it had happened.
Really? Does the audio exist still?
It does not.
It does not.
It does not.
Darn.
Did.
Yeah.
Just this entrance right here, they pulled the police cars right down this entrance and the hearse right down this entrance, and they used the headlights of those vehicles to shine the light on this area during the funeral.
Right, because even to this day, it is pitch black out here at night.
It
You
is.
cannot see a thing, because I have that footage of me out here, and it was dark. I just happened to stop my car here, and it happens to be right in front of where it was, but we walked around for quite a bit trying to find his grave, but we did
First
find
time
it.
I came in, I walked way around looking for it because I wasn't 100% certain where it was at.
Right. But if you're looking, it's Peace Church Cemetery just outside of Joplin, we're in Joplin. This area adopted by ASAP Appliance Repair, and right behind, this would be the unmarked. Well, it's marked, but no name.
So a little story about this grave. So this is the Cook family plot. You can see his father right here and his mother right here. So the New York Times reported that Billy was buried immediately next to his mom, but there's obviously not a space here for that. We found a correction later that said he was buried next to his father, and for some time he had a headstone here, but family members were worried about somebody vandalizing that stone, and they took it home themselves.
We don't know where that stone is to this day.
It's gone. They don't know. Even the family doesn't know.
And I mean, not just the stone, but let's be honest. Back then, it's the middle of nowhere. Grave robbing, digging up. I mean, an infamous person like that, that'd be another fear I would think they would have.
I mean, they sold tickets to his first funeral. Just imagine.
Right.
You're taking one tour.
So they actually called him the cockeyed killer?
They called him the cockeyed killer.
Wow. And it just says grave.
You know, what Billy did obviously was awful, but he really didn't stand a chance. I mean, what was he, one of what? Well, how many kids was he?
Five.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be sympathetic to anybody that has a tough childhood. But from what I've read, and you would know best, Josh, he wasn't, I mean, he lived in a cave with his family, but he wasn't abused in any way, sort of emotionally, mentally, physically.
So
that we
he
know
was
of.
probably always abused.
Oh, really?
I would say even in the children's home.
Right,
he
the reformatories too.
Suffered abuse from other kids and educators for being different, for being weird.
Yeah.
He was probably always abused. He probably did not know a life that was not hard luck.
Which, you know, is definitely not to take away from his vicious, you know, what he did.
Right.
His crimes at all.
I mean, five
Six
people.
total people.
Yeah, six in total, but I'm talking about 5 family members. Just, I mean, they had to witness each one probably be executed right in front of them.
Now, the Joplin Police Department used this to make an example for the community. Our current police department is built on the same address as William Cook Sr.'s house.
Is that on purpose?
It is absolutely on purpose.
Wow.
And our Fraternal Order of Police headquarters is built over the mine shaft that the bodies were in.
Really? Wow. So there's his father. Now, is that somebody else? Anna Cook?
I believe that's his aunt.
Okay.
Sister of the
Sister.
of William Cook Sr. So it'd be
Oh,
an aunt.
his aunt. Here's his aunt, Billy Cook's aunt. Father. We had somebody else we were looking at. We think this is his grandmother on maternal side. Yeah. Grandmother's mother's side, Mary Hinkle. His mother. Who do we have here? Is this another? No. I'm not sure. Peggy. Oh, just a baby.
This was a cousin.
Okay, lived a day. That's very sad. And then we had one. Oh, here's another.
We have a grandmother back here as well.
And there's a husband of Pearl. Was that Pearl over there? No. So there's another Cook there, see?
Jackson Burt Shoe Sr.
Yeah. So who did you say was over here? You said there's...
Grandmother's over here.
Right. On his father's side. Right? No. Yes.
Mother of William
Yeah,
Cook
mother.
Sr. Yeah, on the father's side.
I'm assuming this is another baby. Since she's got one date on it. Oh, man.
This cemetery has undergone a lot of change in the recent years. In 2011, a group of paranormal investigators came here to find this cemetery completely overgrown. Oftentimes, the brambles and the thorns completely blocked passage to entire areas of this 5-acre cemetery. But since that time, volunteers have worked really hard to come in and restore the cemetery to a beautiful condition, because what we found is that this cemetery is not haunted. It is filled with veterans, people that cared for our country and people that deserve to be remembered and honored.
Yeah, and it's really, I mean, it's even cleaner than what I remember 3 years ago. Of course, it was pitch black, but it's a beautiful cemetery. Wow.
Yeah, this has really gotten nice over the years. It used to be really bad.
So do we know which way he is, this way or this way?
He's going that direction.
Going that direction. It just says grave. You actually know one of his relatives. She's no longer with us, I'm guessing. She's
Right.
in her 90s.
Right. So she shared the story that during the Manhunt time, their family lived on Perkins Street, and every night her dad would come home and board up all the doors and windows because her aunt had told Billy, "Hey, you need to leave," and they were positive he was coming back for retribution. So during that whole time period, every single night they boarded up every door and every window to their house.
Wow. And she came out here with you once and pointed out Billy's grave.
She did, and that's how we know exactly where he was, because she was here during the funeral and through the whole story of it, and was able to say, Billy is right here.
Wow. I hope you like the footage also that we shot 3 years ago. Joe, thanks for setting this all up, my man.
Anytime, brother.
Joe from Mo, Josh from Mo. Thanks for watching, everybody. Rest in peace to everybody here. Maybe not Billy, right? I mean, what do you say? It's always, whenever I visit somebody that's notorious, it's like,
It's a good time to end on remembering the Mosier family and Robert Dewey.
Yes.
okay, this is your channel now. That's great. No, that is great. That's exactly what I was trying to say. The Mosier family, yeah, that's great. And the other man was Dewey?
Yeah, Robert Dewey.
Robert Dewey.
California.
Yeah.
From Seattle.
And thanks for watching, everybody. So, yeah, rest in peace to that family, to Dewey, and everybody here. Peace out. You got it.